These are 10 of the best upcoming sneaker collaborations in 2024 that you need to know about. We're literally only a few days into 2024, but even in those first few days of the year, we've learned about so many new collaborations that we didn't know about at the end of last year, and also got some clarification on some other collabs that we'd heard about last year but didn't really know anything about. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 10 best, at least in my own personal opinion. Obviously, we don't know about every single sneaker collaboration that's dropping this year, but even still, a lot of these sneakers, if not all of these sneakers, are incredibly solid, and I think a lot of them have the potential to be on top 10 lists at the end of the year. But first, I want to give a huge thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring today's video. So I work at my desk a lot. In fact, almost every single day for most of the day. And if you're like me and you've realized that sitting at a desk all day sucks, I definitely recommend checking out a standing desk, and the one in particular that I really like to use and that also sponsored today's video is the FlexiSpot E7 and E7 Pro. Sitting at a desk all day is not great for your posture and also not great for your health, so it's important to be able to get up every hour or two and walk around the office or walk around wherever you need to go. However, you are able to mitigate some of those problems by having a standing desk and spend part of your day standing at your desk versus sitting. In fact, for me personally, I would say that I probably spend 2 to 3 hours a day editing videos while I'm standing up at this desk. And not only does it feel better for my body to be able to go back and forth between sitting and standing, I also feel like I'm more alert and more productive when I'm standing. I hate to admit it, but I procrastinate all the time, and I find that I procrastinate most when I'm sitting versus when I'm standing. So if I'm standing editing a video, I usually get it done in probably an hour or two quicker than when I'm sitting, because when I'm sitting, I get comfortable, I start watching YouTube, and I dive into a rabbit hole. FlexiSpot's E7 desk is not only affordable and looks great, but it's also super strong. I have a lot of heavy stuff on my desk at all times. My PC itself is really heavy, and my FlexiSpot E7 desk handles it with no issues whatsoever and no wobble. The FlexiSpot E7 is great because you can save preset height. So if you have a certain height that you like to stand at, you can save it. If you have a certain height that you like to sit at, you can save it and then just press one button and it automatically goes there. And of course, you can also make small adjustments to that by pressing the up and down arrow, or just do it manually every time yourself. FlexiSpot has a ton of different options when it comes to standing desks and ergonomic chairs, so no matter what you're looking for, colorway, size, comfort level, you can find it at FlexiSpot. So make sure to check out FlexiSpot for yourself, change the way that you work, and use promo code YTB15 for 10% off your order of $500 or more. And once again, huge thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring today's video. Number 10, the J-Tip Saucony Pro Grid Omni 9. Over the last few months, J-Tips has already had an incredibly successful collaboration with Saucony. And the good news is, for those of us who weren't able to grab the sneaker for retail, there is another collaboration on the way, this time on the Pro Grid Omni 9. I think for a lot of people, it's the colors that really draw them to the J-Tips collaborations. He seems to have a way with like pinks and blues and purples, and is able to tie them all together to create a sneaker that, yes, is definitely loud, but also still looks great. And I gotta be honest, I'm not really familiar with the Pro Grid Omni 9. I'm not familiar with that many Saucony sneakers. I think I've had like maybe 3 pairs in my entire life, but I do think that this is a great looking collaboration and one that a lot of people are gonna be going for, even if it's just for the hype. But at the end of the day, if hype gets you to try a new sneaker brand, I think that's a good thing. Some of my personal favorite details on the shoe are the Saucony logo that comes in like a light blue. You've also got this purple paneling as well as cream paneling, and of course a large portion of the shoe is covered in this sort of reddish pink mesh. Towards the heel of the shoe, you've got the word Savior written in purple on one side of the heel counter, and then a flower on the other side of the heel counter. And then you've got this really unexpected hit of green on the sock liner of the shoe, which I think brings some really nice contrast to the upper of the sneaker. So far, there's no official release date for this sneaker, but it does seem like the shoe should be dropping sometime in the fall. Number 9, the JBalvin Air Jordan 3 Rio. Since owning the original JBalvin Air Jordan 3, this has not only become one of my favorite sneakers in my collection, but also one of my most worn pairs. This shoe is criminally underrated, although it was still pretty hyped up in 2023. The more that I wear this sneaker, the more that I think the shoe could have been sneaker of the year. I realize that I made the SB4 sneaker of the year, and they're stiff competition, there's no denying that, but this shoe is incredible. I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence, but this shoe is amazing, and I'm really excited that there could potentially be another colorway of this sneaker releasing in 2024. JBalvin was seen wearing an all-black pair of the JBalvin Air Jordan 3s. Well, not all black. The upper of the shoe comes in black leather, you've still got dark gray elephant print, and of course you've still got that fire sunset detail on the midsole and on the heel tab of the shoe. But this colorway of the sneaker, dubbed the Rio colorway, definitely has a much darker, more sunset sort of feel to it. Now I'll be honest, when it comes down to my own personal preference, I do prefer the Medellin sunset colorway of the shoe, the one that's already released, but this black colorway is also solid and one that I'll definitely try and pick up if it actually releases. And unfortunately, as of right now, there is no official confirmation that this shoe will end up releasing. There's just a lot of rumors floating around that this shoe is supposed to drop in 2024, but I do think that there is a possibility possibility that this could just be a friends and family colorway. Now again, I definitely do want this colorway to release because I'd love to have a pair for myself, but also this is JBalvin's most popular Jordan brand collaboration, so it wouldn't surprise me if they try to cash in on that hype a little bit with a new colorway. And back to those rumors that I was talking about, if these shoes do end up releasing, there is a tentative release date that I found online of July 20th, but again, no one really knows for sure. So if you are interested in grabbing these sneakers, make sure to stay tuned because if they are going to end up releasing, more information about these shoes will probably drop in the very near future, and I'll make sure to cover it right here. So subscribe if you haven't yet. Number 8, the Trophy Room Air Jordan 1 Low. This shoe is by far one of the most anticipated sneakers on today's list. It's a collaboration between Trophy Room, the store started by Michael Jordan's son Marcus Jordan, and of course Jordan Brand. But my personal favorite part of the shoe is actually the inspiration, which is rare for me. I don't usually get that excited about inspiration behind sneakers, but sometimes it happens. And this shoe is inspired by the 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card. A card that you've probably seen if you looked into NBA cards whatsoever. It's one of the most popular and sought after cards ever made. So the colorway of this shoe is sort of a reverse black toe colorway. You've got black corduroy on the heel of the shoe and then red satin towards the toe of the sneaker. But a majority of the sneaker is covered in a white leather on the midfoot panel and on the toe. Some of the notable details on the shoe are Michael Jordan's signature embroidered into a matching black on the heel of the shoe, so you can't really see it unless you catch it in the right light. The embroidered Nike swoosh on the midfoot of the shoe, which on the standard pair comes in black. There is a home colorway, which either is a friends and family release or only releases at the store in Orlando. I'm not exactly sure how that release is going to happen for that pair, but either way, there is a colorway that's significantly more limited. And then the other detail is the Trophy Room branding embroidered onto the forefoot of the shoe. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's actually a gold wings logo on the heel of the shoe, which I think looks amazing. The insoles of the sneaker come in blue and gold to match that Fleer rookie card, and overall, I think it's a really well-rounded package. This is genuinely one of those shoes that I was kind of like meh about when I first saw images of it, but then when I heard about the inspiration behind it, I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense, and I'm about it. Now, unfortunately, it is a Trophy Room release, which means that it will be very difficult to get. There are, obviously rumors of Trophy backdooring things in the past. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, it's going to be incredibly limited and most likely very difficult to get because if nothing else, there's going to be a lot of flippers out there. They're going to eat up all the pairs and you're probably going to have to pay resale for it. Now, if I can grab a pair of these for retail, I will try. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. But I'm not holding out hope. Oh, and actually, that does remind me. We do have a pair of socks that's going to match perfectly with this pair of shoes, and they drop officially this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on apothecary.com. That pair of socks is part of our Tiger Heather collection, which comes in 3 different colorways. Let me unbag it for you guys really quick and just show you. So if you're planning on grabbing the Trophy Room, check that out. It'd be perfect for those shoes. Actually, while I'm on that topic, it would also probably match these guys because it's got a tan midsole. Crazy clean. I know these aren't the same sneakers, but it's because I don't have them yet. Look at that. Perfect fit. That is clean, man. If you guys want to grab any of the socks from the Tiger Heather collection, they drop officially this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on apothecary.com. Don't miss out because it will move quickly. And I actually almost completely forgot, but we're throwing in a pair of the upcoming reimagined Bread 4s into a random order on Apothecary's website between this Friday, starting with this drop, until the end of the month. So if you grab a pair of the Tiger Heather socks, there is a chance that a pair of Bread 4s might show up at your door. But getting back to the Trophy Room Air Jordan 1s themselves, these sneakers are slated to release on February 15th for a retail price of $140. But good luck getting them for that. Number 7, the Salehe Bembury Crocs Juniper sneaker. This shoe is one of the wildest looking sneakers dropping this year. Obviously, it's not as wild as the Yeezy Pod shoes, but it's close. However, unlike those shoes, this shoe actually looks good. Those ones are just like a knee-high sock. But you know what? I bit the bullet in those and bought those. So whenever they come in, I'll give you guys a full review of the Yeezy knee-high sock or Yeezy Pod shoe officially. But back to the Salehe Bembury Crocs sneakers. This is a brand new sneaker silhouette from Salehe Bembury and Crocs. From what I can tell, it looks like they built this shoe from the ground up. The outsole of the sneaker features Salehe Bembury's iconic fingerprint traction pattern, which I absolutely love. The upper of the shoe looks sort of like a trail sneaker. You've got some what seems to be synthetic leather, and then you've also got some mesh details. And it's one of the most unique looking sneakers that I've seen in a very long time, and that's one of the main reasons I'm so excited about it. Yes, I'm absolutely a Salehe Bembury fan, so I might be a little bit biased, but regardless, I think the sneaker looks great, and I'm definitely trying to pick up a pair whenever it officially releases. Now, until we get an actual press release from Crocs or Salehe Bembury, we don't know exactly what the intended use case is for this sneaker. It does have kind of a hiking shoe vibe to it, so that wouldn't surprise me. It also could just be a standard lifestyle sneaker, which also wouldn't surprise me, but either way, it does look like the shoe is slated to release sometime in the spring or summer of this year. Pricing, we don't know. Other colorways, this, we don't know, but I would assume. But man, you gotta hand it to Salehe Bembury. He's always doing something wild, and that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about this shoe, because it looks like nothing else out there. Number 6, the Travis Scott Jordan Jumpman Jack. Speaking of people creating whole new silhouettes for a collaboration, we've got the Jordan Jumpman Jack, which is officially Travis Scott's own signature silhouette with Jordan brand. Now, even though this shoe is technically a brand new silhouette, there are a lot of callbacks to other popular sneakers out there like Jordan 1s, Nike Dunks, a lot of different stuff that I'm sure you recognize. But I will say, after seeing better images of this shoe as we get closer to the release of one of the colorways of this sneaker, it's not a bad look. I was really concerned at the end of last year that this shoe was just gonna be a flop, and it could still be, but I will say that it looks a lot better now that I'm seeing high resolution images of it than it did when I first saw these grainy images on his feet. Obviously, being a Travis Scott collaboration, the shoe features a backwards Nike swoosh, this time in red. The upper of the shoe seems to come in some sort of black canvas or fabric material, accented by a white leather overlay, at least on this particular colorway. The shoe also features a strap, which some people might like, some people might not like, and then of course a cream-colored midsole and outsole. There are apparently other colorways of this shoe dropping. I've seen a mocha colorway, I've seen this colorway, and I think I've seen one other colorway, sort of a brown and black colorway. They're all pretty similar to what he's already done on Travis Scott Jordan 1s before, except for this colorway. This one we haven't seen before. But it's very apparent that Travis Scott loves these earth tone browns and creams, and I'll be honest, I'm on board. I love them as well. He's continuing that into his Travis Scott Jumpman Jack. Also, I do want to mention that the outsole of the sneaker is pretty wild looking. The traction pattern kind of looks like spackle that hasn't been sanded down yet. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it is different than a lot of other shoes out there. It does also feature the Jack text in bright red, which I like, and I wonder how long it's gonna last, or if it's co-molded into the outsole, I'm not sure. But either way, hey, I'm stoked. I'm excited to check out this silhouette for myself, and if I can grab a pair before they release, I will absolutely do that. So again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you haven't yet. My review should be coming shortly, whenever this shoe drops, because we don't know yet. There's no official release date yet. In fact, we thought it was gonna release at the end of last year, and then we're hearing now spring, summer of this year, but it could be next year. I have no idea. Number 5, the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low Canary. All right, hear me out. I know you guys hate this sneaker. I know there's nothing but bad things out there about this shoe. I kind of dig it. And hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think yellow is my first choice when it comes to sneaker colors, but it's a pretty unique looking sneaker, and it looks nothing like what Travis Scott has done on all of his other collaborations, which is nice. So the inspiration behind the canary yellow colorway is Travis Scott's high school, which should make a little bit more sense now, understanding why it's yellow and blue and gum, because that's not usually a color combination that you see a lot in sneakers. It's almost like a reverse Laney colorway, which is also a colorway of a high school. But man, it's growing on me. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not my favorite Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low, but it's definitely not my least favorite. My least favorite being the Phantoms, because they're literally just black. They look like Vans. This one is different, it's unique, it's obviously a pair of Travis Scott's because of that backwards Nike swoosh, and it's a colorway that you never really see on people's feet. And I'm sure it's not going to be the most popular Travis Scott sneaker out there. First of all, it's a women's only release, which means that sizing is going to be somewhat limited. Second of all, the colorway is not what a lot of people think of when they think of Travis Scott sneakers, and I'm sure the resale is not going to be crazy. But with that being said, I think people will like it better than they like it currently. As you can see, the sneaker comes with a white leather upper accented by bright yellow overlays and of course a bright blue Nike swoosh, and the entire look is rounded off with a gum outsole. And I'm always a sucker for gum outsoles, even when they're on a pair of sneakers that look like this. And in my opinion, it kind of makes the shoe look more like a skate shoe, which I think will make this shoe seem less childish. I don't know, man. I kind of dig it. And if you're trying to grab a pair of these for yourself, they are expected to release sometime early this summer. Number 4, the Maniere Air Jordan 4 Phantom. So over the last few months, there have been rumors about a second colorway of the Maniere Air Jordan 4s and actually the Maniere Air Jordan 3s. However, at this point in the year, we've only actually gotten official confirmation, or at least seen images, of the upcoming Maniere Air Jordan 4s. Now that doesn't mean that the second colorway of the Maniere Air Jordan 3s isn't going to happen. It just means that it looks like the Air Jordan 4s will be the first one to release, especially because we've seen James Whitner actually rocking the sneakers. And what was cool about that sort of first look or sneak peek is that now we actually know what these sneakers will look like. Because up until a couple days ago, all we had were renderings. We didn't actually know if the shoe was actually going to look like that, and while it doesn't look exactly like the renderings, it's more similar than I expected. So looking at these images of the upcoming Maniere Air Jordan 4s, the second colorway of the shoe, it does look like the sneaker looks pretty similar overall, except the upper of the shoe comes in a lighter shade of like pinkish purple rather than a darker purple. I've seen comments online of people calling it the bleached Maniere Air Jordan 4s, which actually kind of makes sense. That's almost exactly what it would look like if it was bleached. However, I do think they've changed up some of the materials a little bit. Specifically around the mudguard of the sneaker, it looks like they're using suede on the mudguard instead of nubuck, and it also looks like the midsole comes in black and cream or some variant very dark purple and cream. I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping the shoe would look more like the PSG 4s than like this. However, I still think it's a great looking sneaker. It's still going to be one of the most popular sneaker releases of the year, and it's still a shoe that I'd love to have in my collection. In fact, I don't even have the original Maniere 4s in my collection. I need to grab those. Actually, the more that I look at this shoe, the more that I think I like it better than the original. I don't know if that's going to be the case once I actually get it in hand, but it looks really good. Even though James Whitner was seen wearing these sneakers during Paris Fashion Week, it doesn't look like they will officially release until later this year, probably around the fall, which is a little bit disappointing. If we're already getting teased them, we're gonna have to wait like 8 months to get them. Kinda sucks, but it's still gonna be one of the best releases of the year, in my opinion. Number 3, the Action Bronson New Balance 1906R. So Action Bronson has already released 2 collaborations with New Balance in the way of 2 different colorways of the 990 V6s, but it looks like in 2024 he's releasing 3 colorways of the 1906R. And what's interesting is that it looks like not only do these pairs come in different colorways, but one pair actually looks like it comes in different materials. So the 3 colorways dropping are the Medusa Azul colorway, which comes in primarily blue. The second colorway is the Scorpius colorway, which apparently is going to be the most limited according to Action Bronson. And the third is the Rosewater colorway, which is my personal favorite. It's a pair that seems to use different materials in the upper of the shoe. Now I can't tell if that's actually the case because the images of the Rosewater colorway are really bad, whereas the images of the other shoes are a lot better and higher quality. So I'm not 100% sure, but it does look like there's some sort of like clear mesh over top of the shoe versus the other shoes, which just seem like standard 1906Rs in different colorways. I know I'm a self-proclaimed New Balance fanboy. I know I pretty much love everything that they put out, but these 3 colorways are super clean. And while yes, Action Bronson's collaborations tend to be a lot brighter and louder than a lot of other shoes out there, I do think people are drawn to these colorways specifically because of that, and also the fact that it's an Action Bronson shoe, and I think that all 3 of these colorways will be incredibly popular. I mean, just look at his other collaborations on the 990 V6s. Those shoes resell for like $100 over retail at minimum. I still don't have a pair of them. And they're just fire, man. I really like them a lot. Actually, let me know which one of these colorways you like the best in the comment section down below. Unfortunately, no one really knows when these shoes are slated to release. We don't even know if they're releasing together or at different times throughout the year or what the deal is with that. So if you're interested in grabbing these, stay tuned to the channel, hit that subscribe button because I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. In fact, make sure to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at @RealSethFowler because I drop short videos and all sorts of sneaker news that don't drop on this channel all the time. Number 2, the Futura Nike SB Dunk Low. This is by far my favorite sneaker on today's list. However, it's not number 1 because I don't think it's going to be the most popular shoe on today's list. If you're not familiar, Futura is an American graffiti artist also known as Futura 2000 and is known for some of the most popular Nike collaborations of all time. And I think this abstract graffiti inspired dunk is one of the best looking Nike SB dunks to drop in a very long time. I love this sneaker. So Futura, also known as Futura Labs, that's what the FL stands for on the sneaker, has collaborated with Nike on multiple sneakers, most notably the Futura Off-White Nike Dunk Lows, which never officially released and were dropped exclusively through Sotheby's and sold for tens of thousands of dollars. In 2024, it looks like Futura is actually dropping a much more widespread Nike SB Dunk Low release, this time around featuring this beautiful abstract looking print on the overlays on the sneaker. It's just so dope. I love it. I love the way it looks. There is probably some hypebeast in there. That's probably why I like these so much, but still, I think it looks amazing. Based on these images, it looks like the entire upper of the shoe is made up of canvas, obviously with printed details on the overlays. It features a dark blue, or I guess dark greenish blue Nike swoosh. The outsole of the shoe comes in a semi-translucent teal rubber, and then of course you've got the Futura branding on the heel. As of right now though, there is no release information for this sneaker. We just think that it's going to release in 2024. And that's all we got. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Number 1, the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low Black Olive. Sure, I know, Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Lows are not the most exciting sneaker collaboration anymore because we've had a good amount of them. Still, they are a great looking pair of sneakers and you can never have enough of them. And this Black Olive colorway is just another example of why these Travis Scott collaboration sneakers are so popular. The colorways on these shoes are so clean, so wearable, and of course it's an Air Jordan 1 Low, which is also one of the easiest sneakers to rock. It's just a great all-around shoe. In terms of colorway, this shoe is pretty similar to the original Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Lows. In fact, the color blocking is almost exactly the same. The only real difference is that the accent color used on the upper of the shoe is a green instead of a brown. But I'm still with it. We never got a retro of that shoe, and this shoe, in my opinion, looks better because I kind of prefer green to brown. The majority of the upper of the shoe comes in black nubuck, and then of course you've got that darker olive color on the overlays, and then you've also got a white leather Nike swoosh, which obviously on the lateral side of the shoe is reversed. I mean, let's be honest, it's kind of standard for Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Lows. I realize it's number 1 on the list, but genuinely, I think this is gonna be a lot of people's grail sneaker for the year. As you probably expect by this point, there is no official release date yet, but expected to drop sometime between August and November of this year. But hey, that pretty much wraps things up for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.